Hello everyone and welcome back to another doll customizing video. Today Emma and I will be creating a McBling Clawdeen. This is a concept that Emma has been talking about wanting to do for a while now, so I'm excited that we're finally getting to do it. For Clawdeen's concept, Emma and I basically created everything together, so we each shot ideas back and forth until we created this sketch. It's obviously very Y2K inspired while still trying to keep a lot of elements that we thought Generation 1 Clawdeen would wear. With all that, I'm really excited to get started on working on this custom, so let's begin. To start things off, we are using a G3 Clawdeen for the base doll for today's custom. I'm really excited to get more into using G3 dolls because I think you guys, for the most part, enjoy seeing what we can do with them for customs, and I just like experimenting with them. So I'm going to go ahead and go about my usual routine for prepping the doll for customization. To safely remove the doll's head without breaking the neck peg, I like to microwave some water for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds and then leave the doll's head fully submerged in the water for about a minute, and then it should easily pop off. Now to remove all that unwanted stubble from the inside of the head with my needle nose pliers. G3 customs are a little bit trickier when it comes to this because they burn the edges of the hair. While I do absolutely despise glue and glue seepage on the older Monster High dolls, for some reason it's just a lot harder for me to get these specific kinds of plugs out of a doll's head. For the most part, her hair color is going to be somewhat similar to what the scalp is, so I'm not going to be painting over that. I'm using a couple different shades of hair that I have in my stock box here today. I'm using this metallic pecan from the Doll Planet and blonde splendor from Shimmerlocks, and this random black nylon that I have. Because her hair is going to be styled in a high ponytail, I'm not going to be rerooting every single plug on this doll because it would be way too bulky when I do the actual ponytail. But to get that chunky highlight look, I'm doing about 3 plugs in one color and then switching to the next color and doing 2 to 3 plugs, and then I keep cycling that to get what looks like these chunky highlights. And here is the reroot all finished and sealed with some Fabri-Tac glue and styled in the high ponytail. I also gave her some bangs and gave her a boil wash, and we will cut and style those later. Now moving on to her face up, I'm removing all of the factory paint with 100% acetone. Now before I get started on sketching the face for this doll, I'm going to be giving her a nose ring. So to do that, I'm using a jump ring and actually piercing her nose with a sharp needle. I've never tried doing this method before, but I just wanted it to be like how the Monster High dolls' earrings are, and there's a hole in their ear and then you can just put the earring in and out. So yeah, I guess you could change her nose ring if you really wanted to, but in the end it looked like this. I went ahead and did my first sketch for the face off camera. I just did a spray of Mr. Super Clear and then used my mechanical pencil to sketch out all the details. Obviously I wanted this Clawdeen to look really fierce, more so along the lines of like a G1 screening, but still keeping some elements and details from G3. After another spray of Mr. Super Clear, I'm going in with my white acrylic paint on the eyes. Then I'm moving on to my black acrylic paint for the eyeliner and eyelashes. I made her eyeliner really thick this time around. I really like how that looks. Normally I try to keep it like thinner because I feel like it looks more precise or whatever, but I think for a more dramatic mascara and eyeliner look, doing a really thick eyeline is pretty fun. I decided to actually put a base coat of white paint in her irises because they have to be this golden yellow, and I know that wasn't going to show up super easy in one coat just straight onto the vinyl, so the white definitely helps as a base. So now her eyes have this really vibrant golden yellow color in them, which I think looks really cool and almost like they're glowing, which do wolf eyes glow? I don't think so, but I like it. And because there's actually no shades of purple in this Clawdeen's makeup, I'm taking a very light purple acrylic paint and using that as the shadow within her scleras. Then I went in with my dotting tool to add the shines and highlights into her eyes. For Clawdeen's eye makeup, I actually want to give her a classic smoky eye, and to do that I'm going to take some white acrylic paint and paint that on her lid up until the first eyelash. Then I'm going in with a dry brush and some black chalk pastel and blending this into the white acrylic paint that I just added. And after this is blended properly, it should kind of look like a gray eyeshadow is blending both the black and white together. And I actually went ahead and did the exact same thing on her under eyeshadow to give a full-on smoky look. Once I'm done with that, I spray her again with another layer of Mr. Super Clear and add on some reddish pink blush. You can also see here that I added a little bit of sparkle to her nose and brow bone, but this gets pretty muted once you add on another layer of Mr. Super Clear, so I like to add a few layers of that to build it up. Moving on to her lipstick, I'm going to be giving Ombre Lips another try. This time I'm really happy with how they turned out, but first thing I'm going to be outlining her lips in black. Then I'm filling in her lips with a dark red acrylic paint, and then I will blend the two together as best as possible. To do that, I just slightly water down the acrylic paints and blend them together layer after layer, mostly bringing the black in on the top lip, and then the red kind of takes over the bottom lip. It also helped me to better blend the colors together by using a really dark brown acrylic paint, and that way I felt like it really brought the ombre together. Then, of course, I still needed to fill in her eyebrows, so I'm just using a dark brown acrylic paint. And for one of the finishing details to her face, of course, I cannot forget adding her fangs. Obviously, fangs are sometimes a hit or miss for me, but this time I really like how they turned out. And then, of course, to add some Liquitex High Gloss Varnish onto her lips. And that is it for Clawdeen's finished face up. I really love how this makeup look turned out, and it was super experimental. Speaking of experimental, I tried coloring these G3 Heath sunglasses with this green Sharpie. Ended up hating how the color turned out, so I tried to make my own, but then I hated how those turned out as well. So while Clawdeen has sunglasses in the artwork, her doll is not gonna have sunglasses. Emma 3D printed these accessories for her, and I'm just going to be painting them all gold. I actually did the 3D sculpt for those brass knuckles and that diamond pendant, so patting myself on the back for that one. Before Emma shows you how she made Clawdeen's outfit, I'm actually going to be hand painting the details onto some of her fabric pieces. So here I am just hand painting this cheetah print onto the fabric, and then I also do some zebra print. I just used a black Posca paint pen for this, and I really love how the detail turned out. It was really precise and there was no bleeding I had to worry about, so that was a really fun thing to try out. So now let's see how Emma made Clawdeen's outfit.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we will be sewing an outfit inspired by McBling, which is one of my favorite aesthetics growing up in this generation. Snooki, Paris, all of them, just Juicy Couture, Playboy Bunny, it was everything. And who better to fit this than Clawdeen Wolf? Of course, Clawdeen Wolf will not be solo. She will have two other companions with her in this McBling style, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. And with all that done and said, let's get started. I always buy a little bit of extra fabric just in case you never know when you need it, so I had this extra latex from when I made Starfire, and it was perfect for a Clawdeen custom. So I'm so happy I bought extra of that. Starting on her skirt, what McBling is not complete without a mini skirt. Also, working on this and thriving in this has inspired me to make my room a little McBling, so definitely also keep an eye out for that because I definitely want to do a room tour eventually once I get everything set up. So I'm just measuring with my eye where I want the skirt to sit, and I'm using this Gulia because she has the same body type as Clawdeen, and this will be just my little model for now. Now using some Fabri-Tac, I'm going to glue the hems down and then sew them because this fabric hates sewing machines, or vice versa. However, they do not get along. So what you want to do is you want to take a piece of tissue paper, or sometimes when I don't have that, I just use like printer paper and put it in between the fabric. You see, I'm doing it on one side because I'm working on the side that's not latex. You want to do it on both sides if you're doing it on the side that is with latex because it'll just get stuck and there'll be like a ton of, it's just a mess. And with the hem sewed, and then I sewed the back. Because this is very stretchy material, it'll just stretch right over. The skirt is done, but it's not done because we have to be extra. So Clawdeen has a slit in her skirt with a safety pin, so I just put it on, cut it where I wanted, and then I'm going to hem that down with glue, and I'm not going to sew over this, just glue's fine for this part. And then I'm just going to stick the safety pin in there, and then I messed with this for maybe like 2 hours, I swear. I was getting really mad at it. Sometimes working on dolls, things do not go your way, so you just want to take a breather, take a 5-minute break, and then start on it again, because if you're mad at it and you keep going on it, it just gets worse. Believe me, I have been there many, many times, and I just get super frustrated and overstimulated, and I say, okay, that's it for today. And I go home and I watch anime. Speaking of watching anime, I am obsessed with JJK. Obviously, I am obsessed with Gojo. I'm a Gojo for lifer. McDonald's collab, it needs to come now. I need the Gojo sauce. Gojo is definitely a McBling queen. Do you guys remember that cosplay a while ago of the Gojo cosplayer in the Juicy Couture tracksuit? That is so McBling. So, praise Gojo. As always, don't talk to me about Gojo unless you want to be here for like 5 hours. Now back to actual doll stuff. I am just making these leg warmers. Morgan hand painted these on. We were thinking of ways, either like a stamp or whatever, but Morgan just painted them on. So, thank you, Morgan, as always. And as I was making these, I was like, these remind me of something. What do they remind me of? And I was like, oh, I know what they remind me of. Yeah, that's what they remind me of. The more I worked on this doll, the more it gave me 80s vibes. I don't know what it was or how it turned into 80s vibes, and then it made me realize that 80s and McBling are kind of similar. So I'm thinking back then maybe it was based on 80s because it's just giving 80s vibes, is it not? Well, maybe it's just the leg warmers that's doing it to me. I just think leg warmers 80s, I don't know why. But Clawdeen must have leg warmers and chains on the leg warmers. That is so Clawdeen. And so, a word I'm not gonna say. Let's just say it rhymes with hunty. With those finally done, I see this outfit coming together, which is my favorite part, seeing an outfit come together. I'm just building it up from the bottom to the top. Off camera, I made this little tank top, and we are going to embellish it, of course. And Morgan drew up this design. This was a long process, because at first I wanted it to be a Playboy bunny that looked like a wolf. So Morgan and I sat for like 3 hours, and I was trying to show her different ways to draw it, and she was drawing it, and they all turned out cursed. There was no way to make it look good. So we just decided on this design instead. And I think this design is also really cute, but I think a wolf Playboy bunny would have been fire. And with that finally done, her outfit is complete, minus a few accessories. So I'm going to be making her necklaces. So I just bought this from Walmart. I just needed really tiny chains, and using some jump rings that did not fit, I just used what was on the chain already. Morgan 3D modeled these herself. Can we get a round of applause for Morgan? So maybe a couple of 3D printed things from us in the future. So keep an eye out for that. And this Clawdeen is done, and she is gorgeous. Tell me she's not gorgeous. She is stunning. now Clawdeen is done, and she is so slay, I'll just say. I'm Dr. Seuss up here. At this point, I think we're on track to complete every G3 Monster High doll. Like, I think we are going to customize all of them at this point. So, keep that in mind as we continue on this journey together.
I had a lot of fun working on this doll. I think her face-up turned out really fun, like a mixture of G1 and G3, and her outfit is overall super, super cute and reminds me a lot of like a G1 look that I'm not sure they would have ever made, but I like it a lot. If you are interested in purchasing this doll, she will be available later on once we've completed the lineup, because, you know, we like to take pictures of all the dolls together before we send them off to their new homes.
And while you wait for Clawdeen to go on sale, we will be selling more shoes. We will be selling G1 Demonias, a fan favorite, and they go very fast, so if you want to get a pair, I would check it out. Our Patreon members get early access 24-hour. The sale for our Patreon members begins July 10th, which is a Wednesday of 2024, and then for the general public, it will be on July 11th, which is a Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for both.
And as always, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of our Patreon members. Thank you so much to Emmy Lisis, Christian, Sylphic Studios, Emma, Vinyl Bunny, Kate, Amanita Truffle, Daisy, Maisie, Miss Chips, Marissa, Keisha, Rue, Nick, Nori, Crystal Rose, Armand, Dark Lovely 87, Jello, The Craziest of Candy, The Jeffrey Man, Nico Rosati, and Dominic. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss a new doll customizing video, and I hope we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye-bye.